She's very unhappy. Just going to sit quietly as we watch everything. Can you hear her growling? She's going towards him. They're not reacting to her at all. They're not showing any signs of aggression. They're just sort of laying there. She's trying to get a reaction out of them. And these youngsters are not really playing ball, which I think is the best move. Let's see, the pride's coming over. Now, there's my favorite lioness. That's floppy ear over there, I'm pretty sure. She's got darker sort of amber-colored eyes. And then I think the rest of the pride is kind of just intrigued, but she looks like she's going to stand down now, this lioness. You can see the way she's already half turned her left shoulder towards them. She's not facing them front on anymore. There's no growling. So I don't think she's going to go for them. You can see, look at that. They're young. They don't want any problems. They don't want to fight. That is the last thing they want to do. They're not in exactly the best condition. Although, even though they've got mange, remember, it's just a skin condition. It can be life-threatening when it turns into sarcoptic mange, which looks like it might be going that way. But there we go. Going back to the rest of the pride now. Let's see. Oh, yes. That branch is a bit flimsy, girl. And here we go. For those of you that didn't know how strong lions were, she did that quite easily. Yeah, she's scent marking now also. Oh, she's urinating. Diane, I'm sure it happens fairly often, probably more often than we even know, where lions leave their pride and then maybe come back and are not really welcomed anymore. With lionesses, it's probably a little bit more rare as they form a really strong bond. Look what's going to happen now. She's going to go and she's going to greet everybody. And she'll do this with most of the lions, and they'll all be quite happy to have her back. And where we find that she has a favorite, you know, that she... Oh, there's another lion calling. Those are the evoker males, roaring like that. Ooh. Now there's going to be problems because look immediately how those two have reacted to the sounds of big male lions roaring in the distance. Didn't mind that a lioness was only a few feet away from them, growling and snarling. Didn't even flinch an ear. But they know what those roaring calls mean from the distance, and the Nkuhuma pride don't seem to be particularly fond of the evokers just yet. Now, Nikki says she thinks she's spotted amber eyes. Is it maybe the lioness all the way to the far right at the back? The left of the one yawning. Is that her there? Okay, so she's the one sitting up and sort of looking. That's cool. I haven't actually had a look, so that's quite nice. Ooh, so very interesting stuff. There's obviously been a lot of roars going on all night long. We know that a lion roar can, well, it's audible to the human ear for about 8 kilometers or so. We can hear it exceptionally far away. Can you imagine what those sounds must have sounded like to the evokers? Now, I don't know what they're saying to one another, but they can obviously understand. And I think that those evokers are coming closer, but we'll keep listening out for the roars. Hatath, yes, I suppose it is possible that the mange, which is a contagious skin condition, could be spread onto the Nkuhumas. However, it doesn't look like they've had any interaction just yet. So unless they're constantly rubbing up against one another and I suppose, there's actual physical contact, and not just once. I don't think it will spread that easily. It needs to be a consistent amount of contact. So them just meeting up with the Nkuhumas and maybe having a squabble and maybe having a bit of a fight, that's not going to pass it on, I don't think. I highly doubt that. But yes, they do need to be careful. That's of course how mange was spread to the Styx Pride, if I'm not mistaken, was through Tinyo, who's one of the Birmingham boys. So he was part of a very powerful coalition that used to live up here, but they have since moved back south. And he actually passed it on to the Styx Pride. And he's still got it on you'll see it on his belly. I'm not that I've seen them for quite some time, but it's okay. It's just one of those things. And then we saw it spread right through the entire Styx Pride. And sadly, in 2016, there were about, I think, were there 8 young cubs that unfortunately didn't make it, that ended up dying. But this last litter seemed to be doing all right. And they're all back down again. Isn't, I mean, that, if I'm not mistaken, I thought I saw the Talamati male. He's here. Hey, did you also see him? I'm pretty sure there he is there. He's still with the Pride. He just hasn't gone anywhere. You know what, this could work out to be really well. I mean, VM and I were just chatting. And just imagine if these other 2 young boys from Mhangeni Pride decide to join up. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe it was their time to sort of move on now. And they're wanting to start a coalition of their own. They're young, they're very inexperienced, very fine. They're also still looking for that companionship because they've lived with a Pride their entire life. So it must be a little bit lonely for them and a bit difficult to sort of slowly change into more of a, more of a solitary role, because they do take on that for a couple of years before they're able to take over entire prides for themselves. So maybe they're lingering in hope that those 2 boys will branch off with them. And the young Nkuhuma male is getting to that time now where he's just over 2, where he will indeed have to start looking for a home of his own, especially with the Avoca males coming in. They're not really going to tolerate these youngsters for too much longer, maybe another 6 months, maybe to a year or so, that they could linger around, but eventually they are going to get chased off, and, well, they're going to have to run with their tail between their legs. The more of them that join up together, the better chance they have of making it towards adulthood, the better chance they have of successfully bringing down prey, being particularly young and inexperienced hunters. And then, of course, they've got one another's backs when moving through or trying to tiptoe through other male lions' territories. They should be able to fend for themselves. 4 or 5 young males versus 1 or 2 older boys, they might be reluctant, and not that they'd be able to take over something like that at such a young age, but they definitely need to watch out, the older boys thing, because if you get into a fight, there'll be more of them. And they're not, the Mhangeni boys are a bit small. I don't know how old they are. It's very difficult to say with the lack of development of their mane, but they also look like they may be just 2 or so, but I could be mistaken. Mange could have hindered their development quite sufficiently. I've never seen them before. I think they come from a little bit further south from where we are. I don't actually know where the Pride normally hangs around. Yep, this 100%. She's just asserting her dominance over those 2 youngsters, but she didn't really get a reaction from them, which is probably the best response that those 2 youngsters could have done, is kind of just ignored her. They didn't roll over, they didn't really make eye contact with her. It's like they were just pretending that there was nothing really growling at them. And should they have moved, or even, I think, rolled, I think she probably would have gone for them. But the fact that they just remained very still and kind of ignored the entire thing, that was the best. There are birds going ballistic around camp. I can just hear them. So I don't know if Hosana, the young chief, is maybe walking around near Galago Pan or something. Sorry, I think I just seen something. God, I saw something walking in the background, but it's not. I don't know if the evokers would come walking in. They'd probably come charging in. I haven't seen the evokers for a very long time. And to be fair, I've only seen them like 2 or 3 times. I don't know them particularly well. Wonderful. It seems as though Scott has got a bird in the Mara, one of your favorites. Let's go take a look.